Hello, it's Amy with Just a Little Ink. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up, and I'd love to share with you today a sneak peek of some of the brand new online exclusives that will drop into the online store this next week. They'll start being available for you to purchase beginning on November the 6th, I believe. They are some awesome products, and what I'm going to share today is one of the Valentine sets. They are something that you're going to want to grab and get ready for. It's so awesome that Stampin' Up! Is releasing them earlier than our December to April mini catalog, and so this is awesome. So I'm going to flip my camera and we'll just get started sharing. Now I've tried to adjust my camera. I've had some comments that the view, I was out of the view, and so I'm hoping that all of this is good. I've kind of made some marks and some adjustments, and I do appreciate feedback, and so thanks so much. I do hope you're going to be excited about some of these new online exclusives. So this is the Hearts of Elegance bundle. There's some coordinating papers and some trim and some little gold metallic dots, or hearts, excuse me, they're not dots. And there's so much more. Let me tell you, there are some awesome products you're going to be excited for, but this one I'm super excited for. So the Hearts of Elegance comes with a stamp set, some really pretty fonts, some great images, but the almost better part of it is the die set. And remember, I store my dies in storage cases that also have magnetic sheets. That's not how they come. Just so that you're aware that I'm showing something that isn't how they come. But this is the die set that comes, and even if you're only buying it for the hearts, it is so worth it. There are some that just cut out, and for the project we're doing today, I'm going to use this heart. And then there are 3 hearts that cut out and then emboss, and I'm also going to use this heart with some pretty stitched embossing on it. And so I'm going to turn these over. I'm going to kind of talk through a little bit of what I'm using and what we're going to make. So we're going to make what I'm calling a center floating easel card. I'm going to use almost everything in the suite, almost, because there's also a pack of some cute little bags. But I'm going to use some real red cardstock, typical 8.5 by 5.5, and I've got some scores that we'll do along as we get going. You need a piece that we're going to trim down, but this one is 2.5 by 1.5. You also need a piece that is 1.25 by, no. Let me make sure that I'm telling you correctly. It should be 3/8, but I have a feeling I didn't do that. So hold on here. Maybe I did. 1 3/8 by 5.25. Then you need a piece to cut out that cute heart. And what you'll want from the real red is a piece that is 2.25 by 2.25, so a square. Then you're going to need some basic white or a different neutral, but basic white is what coordinates with this paper. You'll need a piece that is 5.25 by 2.75 for our inside, and then you need a scrap, and this is 1/2 inch by 1 3/4 inch. And if you're constantly cutting neutral pieces for the insides of your cards, 4 by 5.25, you get left little 1/2 inch strips all the time. I used to throw them away, but they make great greetings, and so keep those tags. You're also going to want some gold foil, and you're going to want a piece that's 3.25 by 3.5, so you can cut this size out. And then you'll need 2 pieces of designer series paper. This is the same paper. What I'm doing is I'm flipping it over. I'm going to use this for the inside, This is 5 1/4 long by 1 1/4 inches wide, and then you need a piece that is 4 inches by 5 3/8. So, and then I told you that we're going to use those adhesive-backed heart sequins and a little bit of the gold twisted thread, which is so fun. And I'm going to share the designer series papers. This is the first pattern. Again, side 1, side 2. It's kind of got a leaf image on it. Then there are a few more here. So there is a heart, and you've seen some samples possibly with that one, and some more marbled, and this is in pink. This is probably Melon Mambo and Flirty Flamingo. So that's let me share with you the colors of this before I keep going. The colors in the paper is Cherry Cobbler, Flirty Flamingo, Melon Mambo, Petal Pink, Poppy Parade, Real Red, and then of course the gold. And so let me get these few other pieces here quick. There's this piece, kind of almost a mottled look, I guess, with some pretty reds. That's the Cherry Cobbler. And another marbled kind of mottled look with some pretty pink stuff here. There's a stripe, which is the Poppy Parade. Pull that out. Got one more beyond that. Hold on. So you get your 6 sheets, double-sided, 2 of each. So, okay, here we go. Here's the stripe. A little bit of petal pink with that. And then some more bright, bold images. And the last of them is the hearts, and then some more pretty stuff here. So let's get going and quit talking. So you're going to take, I already cut out my hearts. You're going to want to do that. Let me get this out of the way. You're going to take your paper trimmer. It's an important piece for this. And I like you can use it either direction, but I want to hear. I'm going to do some scoring, so I don't need the cutting blade. I pulled that out of the screen. I do want, however, the score blade, so that's the lighter of the two. And so I'm going to score at, and I get my parts together here. Well, it's nice when I have things written down here. So I need to score it at 2 1/8. So grab here. Don't push too hard. This is cardstock, but you still want it to be usable. And then again at 4 1/4, which is the half mark of this paper, or of the cardstock. So, okay. And then I'm going to set this aside just over here. I'm going to fold it in half. I'm going to grab out my bone folder here. And then I've got my cord hanging in the way. Okay, so then I've got a score in the front that's going to do a mountain fold. So I'm going to go ahead and score it because it's helpful to know where that's at and kind of how that looks. This was a card that I had given to my team. We do a team swap every month. We meet online, do a Zoom meeting once a month with my team that's in my stamping group. And so I need to send them something that they can create, and I love sending new product. And so they use their own stamps because Stampin' Up! Has a policy against kit that are stamped, pre-stamped, but then they can do what they want with this. And so this is the project we made then, and so my team may enjoy seeing it again as well. So then I've got that designer series paper. I told you it was 4 inches by 5 3/8. I'm going to come into my paper trimmer and I'm going to cut it in half so that I have 2 pieces that are 2 inches by 5 3/8. And before we get going too much further, I'm going to take that little 2.5 by 1.5 and I'm going to score it, and then we're going to cut it in half. So it's going to line up at 3/4 of an inch, should have 3/4 on both sides. Again, we're going to use the scoring blade, and then I'm going to turn it and we're going to cut that in half. So I should end up with 2 pieces that are 1.25 inches tall. And that is my little mechanism that I need. Then we don't need the trimmer anymore. So I'm going to get it out of the way, and we're going to start assembling. So what I'm wanting to do is take these 2 little tabs, so that's what you end up with. I'm going to go ahead and fold them. And then I'm going to get out my multi-purpose liquid glue, and I'm going to hope that it's flowing well for me today. I keep separate glue at my class table and different glue at my other table. So I'm going to put this as close to the center as I can, and I'm lining it up next to that score line, the center score line, the 2 1/8, with the tabs sticking up. I'm going to repeat and do this on the opposite side in the opposite way. So come over here, and it's going to come opposite with just a little gap in between. So now I've got them flipping up, and I'm doing this now because I want to hide these bottom tabs. Then I'm going to go ahead and adhere using just whatever adhesive you'd like to use. I like the Stampin' Seal, and so I'm going to use some Stampin' Seal. You could use the multi-purpose liquid glue. You already have it out. And this is a fairly snug reveal on the edges, so you don't have too much. It should be about 1/16 of an inch that goes all the way around. So I've got this one on, and then I'm going to put this on the other side to your heart's content, and line it up over here. Wouldn't this be a cute card for that special someone, friend? If your husband's someone that likes giving cards, you give it to him. If you're a guy and you need to give it to your gal, you could do that. She'd probably really love it. Okay, so then I've got that ready. I'm going to go ahead and start on what I'm doing on the inside next. So I'm going to attach, though it might be a little, well, let's wait on that just because I want to put my greeting on. I'm going to go ahead and attach my other piece here. Line it up, stick it on the center here. And again, I should have a pretty small reveal. Might be more reveal than I had planned on. So we're just going to snip that off. You know, sometimes you got to do that. So it's a little long. So I'm just going to make it the length I want. It's close, but it's not quite where I want it. Are you that stamper who is very particular? I tend to be. Okay. Get my scissors out of the way. That's why you keep them around. What I need are some Stampin' dimensionals on the back here. So I'm just going to pull out some dimensionals. Put just a few. This is going to allow that easel part of the card. So I'm going to put 6 of them on. I know it's more than we need necessarily, but I want it to stay put. So I'm going to go ahead and pull those off. And I'll clean them up later. This is going to get lined up on the end. So I'm going to get it turned around. I want it lined up on this end, so that should just be in a little ways. Cut like so. Okay, and then this piece is what's going to come in this section. Make sure that I'm lined up pretty well. I am. So I'm going to grab some stamps, and I think I want to put on there just Happy Valentine's Day on the inside. I think it'll barely fit on there. So let me grab a block, and is this our H block? The H block works really pretty well. And I'm going to pull out my Pierce mat. I've cut one down. It's cut in half. And I'm using real red ink for all of these. I have an older style firm foam ink pad because it still works. And the color is still current. And I didn't see a reason to replace it. I'm going to pull this a little closer so I can see. Give me just a little room to write. Nice thing about doing this before you put it down is that you have two sides. My most recent phrase I like is that, I'm going to keep this out because we have one more piece to stamp. It's like God, He gives us a second chance. Used to say it was magic paper, but I like the other better. So now I'm going to stick my greeting on the inside. It should have just a little bit of a reveal and butt up against my stopper here. So I should have kind of like so that then when I'm stopping, it's going to sit here. Okay, now I'm going to stamp. I'm going to take my little 1/2 inch by 1 3/4 inch, and I loved that XOXO Hearts and Kisses. And I'm just going to grab a little block here, ink it up again in real red, stamp it as close to center as I can. Again, you have two sides, so you can always redo it. I'll clean my stamps here after a little bit using my Simply Chamois. But before I finish here, I want to flag both ends. And I've shown this before, but I'm going to show again. You're going to come in the center up to 1/4 inch or so, or however deep you want that. Then I'm going to come from this corner, and I'm going to snip it up to the end of where I snipped in the center, and then repeat that on the other side. It's the easiest way to flag an end. And it's such a fun little technique. Takes no time at all to do. I'm just going to repeat that on the other side. Again, you could make that as deep as you want. I've also done some angles on both ends. That's another fun technique that's easy enough. So let me get this out of the way. Don't need that anymore. And I'm going to just put a couple little things together. So I want to take and attach my heart to the center, and I'm going to use dimensionals again just because I'd like to lift it up a little bit. So I'm going to put just a couple on there. That's enough to hold it. Okay, pull these off. Center it on my gold. Line it up. Something about like that. I'm going to attach one end. The other's going to kind of hang off the edge. So I'm going to come in the center like so. Maybe just a little more. And then this next part is something that you could do or leave off. It's kind of up to you. But I liked having just a teeny little bit of that thread, and I liked putting it in a bow. And so we'll see more than anything whether my fingers are going to cooperate with me today or not. I keep some old, what I used to refer to as ribbon scissors. So you need about 7 inches, give or take, of the thread. And you're just going to loop it together. You could do a fork bow. That's another option that's super easy to do. And sometimes when my fingers aren't cooperating, it's not a bad option. Pull it through. See how well we did. Not too bad. And then I just used a little daub of some of our multi-purpose liquid glue to attach this. You could choose to use a glue dot, but I think the glue dot's a little bit big. So I'm going to make those about the same size. I want to put this up on this little lobe of my heart. And I think I like this side. So choose which side you want facing up. Push it, hold it for a second or two. Our liquid glue really does dry pretty quick. Okay, and then I'll trim those ends. Could use my paper snips. These are the ones that aren't as sharp, so I'm not going to use those. I'm just going to use my ribbon scissors. Okay, then I'm ready to finish. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open up these tabs, and I'm going to put some more liquid glue on both of them. So those are what got left revealed in front of my card. And you don't need a ton of liquid glue, but you do need enough so that it doesn't fall off. I'm going to hold it here, and then I'm going to get my heart centered where I want it with the point of my heart on that fold, and the top part here where it dips in on the fold. I'm going to press for a few seconds to make sure that it adheres nicely. And then I have a finished card. And this will sit, it floats on the top. And the nice thing is that it's something that could then easily stand on someone's mantle. It could stand on a tabletop. It's a really wonderful idea. Not my original idea by any means, but I do love, and I loved using the hearts out of this set. So don't forget that today is the last day of the join special. Today is also the last day of our kit special where they're up to 30% off. And I'm going to go ahead and flip my camera. But there's some great things going on. There's some great things coming, and that's where these online exclusives are. And I hope that you love them. There's going to be a link in this video for you to be able to order out of my online store. Remember that if you're not a demonstrator, you have to wait until this next week, but they will be available starting on November the 6th. So thanks again for joining me. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next week.